because underneath Mount Shasta, there's actually the energy city of Telos, which is an ancient Lemurian city. And I received the transmission with very practical and specific instructions on what to do when I got there in terms of cleansing the place and doing a particular healing ceremony. And it all actually turned out to be true when we got there. And so when, over there, tons of activation happened. It was a beautiful conference. It was called The Promise Revealed. So we came back from that conference, and I just felt completely different. I was activated on a DNA level, which our DNA also has multidimensional aspects. We're not usually taught in schools about the 12-strand DNA model. There's aspects of our DNA that correspond to our multidimensionality and all of our experiences on other planets, in other galaxies. So as we go to sacred sites, the pure energy of the place, the rocks, the crystals, everything in that place, and even the beings that are present there, the history of the place, the galactic beings that are present, ancient teachers, the underground beings that are present, they can all take part in activating our DNA. So if you get an opportunity to go to a sacred site somewhere, anywhere, there's tons of them in Florida, there's all over the country, all over the world. There's so much ancient history on this planet, founder races and technologies left behind, and from the Lemurians, the Atlanteans, several different races. You can tune back in and ask your soul guidance where you'd like to go, or where you should go, or where you have an affinity to go. Like if there's a particular country that you've always wanted to visit, you probably had existences there outside of time that are simultaneously existing to this reality. So by going there, you can activate your DNA. There's tons of ways to achieve DNA activation and tapping into our higher faculties. We can meditate, we can do yoga, we can do hypnotherapy, we can go under hypnosis, go into an altered state, we can do tantra, we can do plant medicines. There's so many different ways that we can tune into those higher dimensional aspects of our soul. And in doing so, we can ask our guidance, which of course the spirit guides are just all different. It's all us, and we're them. So we can ask them for that activation. So travel experience, and the more we tune in, the more we ask for activations and downloads, the more we can experience the benefits of living in a higher dimensional reality. Another experience I had was in Poninariwa, that translates to Rila Mountain. It's a very long story, and there's actually a Bulgarian master that used to do healings and lectures from that space. But it's also, there's also underground, multidimensional beings there, and it's a very high energy place. I received a violet ray activation when I went there. It was just something took over me, just like this overwhelming sensation of happiness. And then, I started jogging, and I didn't know why, and I was just climbing up like all these rocks, and then I got to the top, and I just meditated, and I just saw a beam of light coming in from the top in the violet color. And that was also, that changed my life. That trip, for days, weeks afterwards, I was just nonstop having telepathic communications with some of the masters I met there. And they do this beautiful dance over there that's called Multidimensional, which is a sacred geometrical dance where every movement brings about a certain vibration. And as we, it's all in a circle, so as everyone dances, and you have a partner as you're dancing, as everyone dances, it creates this vortex of energy that you can tune into and tap into, and you can start seeing, experiencing, connecting to higher collectives, and receiving tons of downloads, information, activations, especially like there's a part of the meditation where you turn towards your partner and you kind of put your hands out like this towards them, and you can start seeing like all sorts of different things, like about their, or you can start seeing their aura, all sorts of different things can happen. So it's, if you're ever curious about trying out a new dance or something new, paneurythmy is what it's called in English. And there's circles here, like in the States, where you can, we can do that as well. I think there was one in like South Florida, but you can look it up. Yes?
I'm curious, you said you had telepathy with communication with the masters. Was it a human being or higher self?
It was both.
How did you, what steps did you take to telepathically communicate with somebody? Like if I wanted to telepathically communicate with you right now, what would I do? What are the steps to enhance that, make it better, and like turn it on like a light and switch?
So first you have to be very silent within. So just being present within yourself, because from the present moment, from the insight, from being present in the moment, that's where we can perceive the multidimensional reality. Because we can, part of us can be traveling somewhere else in the astral, our soul can scatter, and there's this process called soul retrieval that we have to do then to collect the lost pieces. But basically have to be very present within the body, and you can start sending signals to the other person. Like you can start sending a color, or you can start sending a word or a number, and we can practice enough. We have time. I guess maybe another time, but it's a practice you can do with somebody. It works especially well if you're like really close with somebody, because then you know them, because you already have that trust. There's no boundaries, there's no walls that are basically, that are basically preventing that connection from happening.
I think concentration is a very important part of that.
That's very true.
Focus, yes.